Facebook. Blessings. Maybe YouTube also. See how we get on. It's very dark here. I look a little bit... It's very dark right now. It's okay. You guys can see me. I wanted to come on. I said I would come on. I waited till this evening, but I'm here. I wanted to come on to do a live. I'm live, yeah. Okay. Blessings, everyone. So I've called this Call to Order, Vibrational Accuracy, and Crystal DNA Song Attunement. I'm going to go through a few different things that's coming up. Really interesting time and so much unsettling, so much agitation. Just want to remind everyone at this time, remind myself, remind all of us, that conversation at this time, connections, correspondence, conversation is about discovery, revelation. Discovery and revelation. Every interaction, every correspondence that we're lucky to have is about discovery and revelation. We are long past convincing. So the best we can do as we are working to clarify and free humanity's consciousness, to bring humanity's consciousness back to a cohesive, comprehensive intelligence, is to invite and to be received and to receive one another. There's so much to talk about. So the false pattern. Okay, call to order. Let me just make a little thing clear. There is a source sound, and it is of the Eternal Mother. And the reason we clarify these things, you know, we can just, if we aren't part of the unfolding and the discovery and the correction of the mechanics of creation, say whatever you want. But if we are part of the unfolding, the discovery, the correction of the mechanics of creation, we need to be accurate. And you will find that what I have found is that certain energies despise accuracy. Certain energies despise discovery and revelation and unfolding and unpacking and deconstruction. There are energies, there are frequencies which we may believe are part of our personality or part of our upholding, our identity, that truly despise and do everything they can to deflect and defend against being seen. So these frequencies are unbelonging to us, and they are being seen, and they are dissolving, and they're leaving our light body, our unified body. That is happening. And there is a call to order. What that means. What does that mean? There is a vibrational beginning. There is a source sound. It is the sound of the Eternal Mother. It comes from Andromeda. It comes from the crystal core of Andromeda, and it moves in the way of a rose. This core sound that is creating so much correction. Hey Preeti, blessings to you. This core sound that is creating so much correction is replacing false frequency. We know there was a false mother, right? We know there was false frequency. The womb is the emanator of frequency. We have the cosmic womb, which emanates the pure frequency of love, of Andromeda. And we have the false womb, which people would have called the machine, perhaps. And the beast machine, some people called it. That was a false womb that emanated a false frequency. Inaudible to most people, but some people could hear it. So, sound largely has been within the shadows, has been in the realm of shadows, because our sound of creation was artificial for such a long time. It was coming from this false womb, this beast machine. The true, our originator, the true source of our sound, of our creational sound, our creational vibrational beginnings and magnetics, is Mother, the Eternal Mother of Andromeda. So, our universal Mother. So, that's that. Every vibration, every sound has a pattern, has an order and an intention. So when I say a call to order, what I am actually saying is that every single beginning point, every vibrational beginning point, within every cell, within every fractal of light, within every particle, has been returned to the frequency of Mother, to the sound of Mother. And what that is doing is that wherever that is, if that is a cell in the body, if that is a star in the sky, whatever that is, wherever that is, it is calling and it is creating and compelling a return to order, a call to the order of Mother, to Mother's intent, Mother's pattern, and Mother's sound and pattern or intention. Yeah. So this is what is happening. And much of what we might have considered to be our identity is dispelling. Much of our opinion is dispelling. Our stories, all the false ways we held. So sound holds us. Sound holds the light body. The crystal songlines of Mother are our eternal holding. They are the eternal holding of the angelic human light body. And they are returning. And I've seen them streaming in at this time, 12 strands streaming in guardianship from 12 grandmothers. Hey, Brandy. 12 angelic grandmothers, the council, coming in, seeking to, through our crown, infuse our DNA with the song of Mother, the song of the Eternal Mother. That is the song code, the intentionality, the beginning knowings of Mother is coming into our DNA. That's what our DNA is for. This is how it's returning to crystalline form. And as that is happening, we have been through forced pairings and all the different things throughout the different lifetimes where different things other than angelic intent has been part of our DNA, has been interwoven with our DNA. And that is correcting through this process. So our DNA has been returned to the crystalline intention of the First Mother. So people speak about lineages and bloodlines and ancestry and things like that. But let us not forget, and that is often done from the lens of like a masculine point of view, like a paternal lineage, right? We're always looking for the special man that's going to save us, the next prophet, the next Messiah. But let us remember that every single masculine prophet we've ever had is born through the womb of Mother. So what we are doing now is we are finding the unbreakable lineage of Mother. We are finding the sanctified lineage of Mother. Mother's sanctified channel lineage is restoring itself to full light. So regardless of who is within the creational womb, it doesn't get to be one special one. We don't need one special Messiah. We don't need that. The creational womb, the eternal channel of the birthing of the special one, of the birthing of the malformed one, of the birthing of the production of forced breeding, the birthing of the tyrant, the birthing of every single one. Hey, Brandy. The birthing of every single creature of humanity, regardless how pure or how evil, came through the mother's womb. And the correction now of the mother's womb, the mother's song taking over the womb. And as it takes over the womb, it is taking over all of us. It is infusing us. So regardless of what kind of a mess we think we are, or who someone is, or if someone's pure, or someone's a mess, I just use these words. I don't feel this way about anyone. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. The golden child is being reborn within every one of us as a natural consequence of being within the golden womb. It can't be any other way. One of the processes that is happening now, the womb is held by crystalline songlines, the crystalline pure intentionality from the Eternal Mother, through the grandmothers, mothers and daughters, through the wombs of the women of this earth, are holding the creational womb that we are within. And all of our bodies are of mother. Man, woman, child. All of our bodies are of the mother. Our light bodies we are held by the sound of mother. Like I said, the artificial sound was unrecognized, but it was an artificial mother. It was an imitation of the eternal mother. The eternal mother is what is holding us now. And by holding, I mean giving order to, giving pattern to, giving direction to, and intention to our light bodies, the unified consciousness. So what I saw is these beautiful crystal song lines coming in to fully restore our DNA, regardless of who we are, fully restore our DNA to crystal, song, intention of mother. In the beginning was the word. It is mother's word. We know this. We know people talk of, I think it's called the Cathar grid. There are points on, I'm just using words of another person this way because I don't use these words. I use really organic, simple words. The Crystalla, the center point, the sound, vibrational center point of the Christ is the mother. People say the feminine. People have said the feminine, but the word is mother. Just as the word for the Christ is father. It is mother and father. It is not father and feminine. It is mother and father. These are equal creational energies, right? So that needs to be corrected too. So what is happening So this call to order of the original patterning of the mother's order, which for me is based around the rose. It's a cohesive consciousness, a concentric expansion in the patterning of love, the frequency of love. What is happening is that false patterns are being starved. So false beginnings are being starved. False vibrational beginnings, false frequencies being starved. So if we have built our order, if we have built our system, our way of thinking, our thought processes, and we surely all have some bits of this, right? Anything built upon a false pattern is being starved and it is dissolving. So I'm seeing that, and that's being projected in, around as well. Anything built on hierarchy, sacrifice, self-sacrifice, anything built on the duality of like superiority and shame, anything built on fear and instability, anything built on a lack of belonging, a lack of abundance, anything built on those core fragilities is being starved. Anything that needs a false construct, a false framework, a holographic framework around it to uphold it is being dissolved and starved. Because what I'm talking about, bringing back this pure vibrational sound beginning of mother at the center of every single cell, fractal, particle, everything. This is core strength. When you have the correct pattern at the beginning of all things, you have core strength because it grows correctly. It builds. It's a buildable pattern. It is of the pattern of nature. It is the pattern of the angelic mind's intention. So anything that is needed, false upholding, and usually holographic, usually pulling from one another, usually referencing false thought patterns and continuing to construct those things in holographic reality. It is all dissolving. So that is much of our stories, our identities, a lot of that. At this time, just to speak, that conversation is about discovery and revelation. It is not the time to convince or pull rank or try to outdo one another. In the beginning, before any interference, and in the end, we are mother's children, humans, and that is what we're returning to. And the quickest way to get there is through humanity and humility, right? So allowing conversations to be a place of openness, unfolding, We are to have faith that the core of us is perfect. And if we can just get to that, if we can create the conditions, the environment around each other, around ourselves, to allow the unfolding of what's in the core, we will get to the beginning again, to the truth of who we are. So I say lock it in. Lock in this crystal song that is coming through to connect to the DNA. Lock it in. Call it in. Call in this crystal song of Mother to come in to cleanse your DNA of anything that has been imposed or interwoven over the time, right? And that includes everything of false frequency. That includes past things, right? Long time ago kind of things. It also includes any false frequency, disease, anything that's bothering the DNA, right? Okay. Holographic tumblings. Disgruntled rumblings of holographic tumblings. It's like I'm hearing and I'm feeling where the projections are just dropping. They're not holding anymore. But people may continue to project, but we're all showing ourselves. We are all unfolding and revealing, regardless of what we think. If we think we're just giving an opinion, if we think we're giving direction or instruction, we're actually just all unfolding. One rose petal at a time. We're all unfolding. So it just depends how you want to go about it, right? Something I want to talk about, because I just made a post about it and it got a lot of attention. The lunar feminine consciousness. So we are much older than the moon, of course. There is a creational mother. There is a source sound, a source magnetic, that is the creational mother. It is much older than the moon. We have been forcibly attuned to the moon. At this stage, it's a choice. If we are attuned to the moon as if we believe the moon is our source, our sound magnetic source of the feminine principle, come on, that doesn't make any sense. The child of the moon, truly is narcissism. This is a hollow, shadow, vacuous energy. A hollow, vacuous magnetic. That's what comes from the moon. So, we can move past that. We can attune directly with the source of Mother, the actual creational source, the true source of the creational mother, the sound and magnetics of the first sound emanation of Andromeda. We can attune to that. It's a crystal sound. And this is where these crystal song lines come from, that are doing this complete and comprehensive sound healing throughout, holding the womb and cleansing everything that is crystal. Everything that can be cleansed is being cleansed. That includes bloodlines, bones, DNA, everything and anything, right? The whole universe is being brought to this beginning point again. The whole universe is being brought to the patterning of the rose of the first mother. So the lunar feminine consciousness, which seeks to worship a masculine god, or men in general, right? Or the masculine principle. Anything we put on an altar to worship ends up a sacrifice. That is the way of the altar. If we are thinking we are worshipping something, what is happening is this is a very vacuous, hiding energy that wants to do this. Because if we place something in front of us or above us, it means we are beneath them. But we never give up our power. So what that means is that we end up operating with a very shadowy, subconscious power. Perhaps in the narcissistic worldview, we're in a place of victimhood. We're in a place we just can't get out of shadow. We just can't make it. We need to latch on to somebody else. We need the hero. We need the salvation. But we are not disconnected. We are disconnected from light, but we are connected to a source of shadow that is vacuous and very, very harmful and not accurate whatsoever. So shadow at this point is, we are all one. We are returning to one. Any shadow, subconscious, anything unresolved at this point is just a part of us that is without pattern, that has been kept out of the pattern, that is resisting the pattern of the rose, of the mother's order. Everything is being brought into the rose, everything. I've worked with roses before. I have seen the red rose, how it brings shadow, it brings death to life. Everything has been gathered in this rose gold, in this golden rose net. Everything has been gathered in, and it is finding its place in the pattern of the rose, in the pattern of the mother's intention, in the pattern of the mother's frequency, which is love. So resistance, I want to talk about resistance to that. Frequency fences. I wanted to talk about frequency fences. So there has been a frequency battle, that there is no doubt. We're just out of it, right? The core frequency and therefore the containment of every single cell, as I say, every fractal, every particle, every star, every beginning, is the mother's frequency, her sound, first sound emanation of the Creator. That is our containment. We are protected by a golden shield, a halo of particulate light that acts like a resonant barrier, and nothing but that frequency can access, right? So if as we are dissolving frequency fences, let me speak to what that is. So in the absence of the mother's sound, because that was removed from us, that source sound was taken away from us. In the absence of that, and all of the tinkering around with humanity, we have false thought forms, patterns of belief, ideologies, programs of the mind, habits of the mind, that create these frequency fences that we're almost kept behind, right? So we cannot even hear one another. We cannot access one another. We cannot cohese. When we are held behind a very strong opinion, very strong rules or dogma, we actually are kept out of this cohesing, out of the ability to attune to each other. And the only way we have of attuning in that way is of convincing and kind of forcing other people to say the same things as us, believe the same things as us, etc. We start to try to control what's around us. So this is just, a way of knowing that that is what is happening. It's a frequency fence trying to stay up, trying to keep itself upheld. So we are just seeing they are dissolving, though, because like I said, the creational womb is held in the crystalline song of mother, the frequency of love, and it is the only frequency permitted. Okay. So much deconstruction, so much projection, and we are coming to the place of just simple cohesion, simple attunement with one allegiance, one direction, mother's children. That is it. That's what we're coming to. So yeah, this is where we are. Okay, so allow the holographic constructs to deconstruct. Allow it all to deconstruct. We can trust our body. The amazing thing about the mother's presence, this mother's frequency. It is a frequency that formed our bodies, of course, but it is not going to be the loudest sound. It's not going to be trying to override or overwrite anyone, or force anyone. Because the rise of the mother, the glory of the mother's energy on this earth, the eternal mother, only comes from our inner knowing, our inner strength, our inner belief. Truly the kind of initiation in order to get to the place of, being within the beautiful, sanctified golden space, golden halo, always protected, free, the knowing of abundance, belonging, the knowing of love all the time, is that step away from false belief, false upholding, false construct, and walking back into innocence and self-belief, inner knowing, releasing all the self-doubts, believing the body, coming back, fully occupying the body, and listening to the intuition. This is how the mother's voice speaks to us, is through intuition, right? It doesn't speak as a panicked, insistent, aggressive voice. It speaks as a calm energy, a grounding energy, because it's not going anywhere. It cannot be undone because it is real. So that is kind of we are invited into the mother's frequency. We are invited into remembering and fully restoring ourselves to be of that frequency. The mother's glory only comes in our strength, in our fruit and our flower, in the way we blossom in the world. So the mother's presence here, the eternal mother's presence here, is completely dependent on us believing in ourselves and standing in the truth of who we are. And that this frequency will not force governance over anyone. It will not tell you, and it will not override or overwrite you, because it actually depends on the inner standing, the inner strength, the innocence. So that is just something to note. This is an invitation. We are invited to this initiation. We are invited into accepting, receiving, and fully becoming of, or remembering we are of, the mother's frequency, the mother's sound, coming back to the pattern of the rose that is already there for us. The way is already formed. There is already a way. It's an invitation into the way, right? And what is that expression? It's like when we are like children, we enter the kingdom of heaven. It's pretty much that. Complete return to innocence. It's an invitation to return to innocence. And that may take courage, of course, and insistence, and lots of loss and lots of deconstruction, but it's a choice. Okay. Hey Patty, thank you. Okay, my dears, I hope this helps, and if this feels real in the body, please share, and only stand for and back whatever feels real. That's all we have. That's all we need. Our intuition, our feelings. Look at all those roses and hearts. Thanks, Brigitte. That's all we have, and that's all we need. Our intuition, our feelings, our radiance. If something brings joy, if something makes us feel alive, there's a good chance it's real, Thank you, Lulia. Thank you, Paul. So many loves watching me. Okay. Blessings, everyone. Be well. Take care.